Oh, really?
Yeah. That's cause it's just cause I have like everything open right now. Yeah. We can have here. Hey guys, welcome back. We're out here working real hard, getting that money, you know what I mean?
Are you frozen?
No, I'm not. What are you talking about? That's just me. It's delayed now. I don't know if you know about streaming, but it's a little
No,
delayed.
I didn't know.
Just a little delayed. And there's Alex.
What?
Oh yeah, I guess I have my headphones. I'm saying rather than yeah, maybe, maybe not. Oh, yeah, your buddy's like trying real hard. Uh, not the speakers. Can I? Oh, there we go. I can now hear. Not the speakers. But yeah, what do you want to talk about? But yeah, what do you want to talk about? But yeah, what do you want to talk about? But yeah, what do you want to talk about? But yeah. Wait a second. What do you want to talk about? But yeah. Wait a second. What do you want to talk about? But yeah.
He said,
Wait a second.
what
What do you want to talk about?
on the news?
But yeah.
He said,
Wait a second. What do you want to talk about?
on the news?
But yeah.
He said,
Wait a second. There's gonna be a what?
Heat dome.
Heat dome. Like from The Simpsons?
Well, no, but it looks like a dome and it's a V.
Okay, fair enough.
There we go.
You know, if you like, listen. Uh, um, conspiracy theories are fine. Yeah, go for it.
What was on the news?
I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. Like,
Do you watch the news?
no, of course not.
Well then, that's why you don't know.
Yeah, did you know that we're in a recession right now?
Yeah.
Did you know that we're,
Yeah,
we're
I
in a
did.
recession right now? Yeah, yeah. We were in a recession, and we're gonna be in a recession, and we are in a recession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were, and then we weren't, and then we were. And
No,
now
no, no. We were, and
permanently
then
are.
and we are, and we will be, and we have been,
For the foreseeable future.
and we have been,
Yeah.
and we will, and
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
It's just been a recession. It is a recession.
Yes.
It's always been a recession.
And it'll never be anything but a recession.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. 'Cause they keep saying that. They keep being like, oh.
This is a very positive podcast that we're doing.
Exactly. The positive part being that
Positive.
just listen to, or just look at what's going on instead of, just listening to outlets. Because the thing is, the more you hear, oh, there's going to be a recession, the less you spend. The less you spend, the more it's probable that there is going to be a recession.
I'm actually the opposite.
What?
I'm the opposite. Like, I heard that it was going to be, or is a recession, and I was just like, God, really glad I don't have a house. Really glad I don't have very many assets.
Well, that's what I mean. You're not going to buy a house.
No.
Well,
but
that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't, like,
Yeah.
because on the news it's like, oh, people are not going to the movies as much, they're not buying as many groceries, like, nothing's really changed for me.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
So, like, thank God.
No, yeah, but still though, you're not gonna spend. That's what I mean. Like in different circumstances, you would spend more money.
I have less opportunities to spend bigger money, because I would totally do that.
Right. Yes. Yes. And because, yeah, Alex apparently like, it's so funny because we keep being told that if there is gonna be a recession, right? And I saw like a new like news yesterday where it was like we're already in a recession. Okay.
The thing is, you guys probably don't feel it as much as other people.
No.
Yeah.
Because people, for example, like I have a couple friends and my sister who have mortgages that aren't fixed rates. They're feeling
Oh no, yeah.
hard.
Oh yeah. But
and
that's not the recession itself, though, is it?
Well, the interest rates is what's causing the recession. So the Bank of Canada has and that was their whole plan. There is
Yeah.
a man-made recession.
No, yeah.
So they
yeah.
increased interest rates on people, so that one, you wouldn't borrow, you'd be less inclined to borrow money unless you really had money, for one.
Yeah.
Or two, if you have borrowed money, you have like a fixed rate, you're spending less because you're paying more towards whatever you've borrowed money for.
Yeah.
And so the idea is to make people spend less money so that inflation has to come down. They're trying to fix inflation, so that inflation, house prices, everything has to come down because there's less buyers that are trying to buy things and have the flexibility and the money to buy things. And then they cause a recession, and then in due time they start to bring the interest rates down again, and then people will have more expendable cash, etc., etc.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then if you update that, like if you increase that to businesses borrowing money,
Because that's the
we
thing.
finance things too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And not just like us, like all around, businesses are borrowing money for different reasons, so they're paying more as well on interest rates, and everyone's trying to make up for it, so charging a little bit more and charging and so then it just becomes people aren't spending as much money, or people aren't spending as much money, or even some places have done layoffs. Like a lot of people have actually done layoffs, especially like in non-essential things.
No, yeah, that's
People are buying less cars. Like the cars are super delayed, but they're still selling it because people need cars.
Yeah.
As well, but still, so everything has kind of just trickled through.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, I mean, there's definitely, a want, or the people are still buying cars, right?
Yeah.
It's just they can't keep up with the demand kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hello.
Hello? Oh, we got chocolates?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Chocolate.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but they're building them slower too. I guess that's where it is, and then so it's like I have a couple of friends who work for Cami, which makes Toyota parts or whatever, and they've been laid off for a couple months, and a bunch of people because the parts are slower getting here as well. So they're pumping cars out slower.
Yes,
yes. So you have a bunch of people on layoffs while there's all this interest rate stuff.
Yeah.
And so then that's kind of where you get the cluster of.
Yeah. Well, okay, but then that one's made more, I feel like a recession, it depends on what you think of as a recession, right? I mean, I think if I understand it correctly, is just, the majority of the population is unable to spend, or just is unable or doesn't spend, any money, and so the money doesn't move around. That's kind of my definition of a recession, but I'm not sure if that's 100%.
The actual definition?
Yeah, because I mean,
Google.
yeah, because I mean, for example, with COVID,
Yeah.
there were people who were you could basically say that there was a recession at that point, if you're saying that some people are affected negatively financially about that, because there was a lot of people who were very negatively affected.
They thought that COVID would cause a recession, but it didn't.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of other people that thrived with that, right?
Yeah, and
So,
the government also helped a lot of the people who, with our CERB and stuff, so there was a lot of financial aid for people during COVID versus now. It's you're on your own buddies.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I feel I just feel because as far as I remember, there were just people who were just thriving so much during COVID, and there was people who were
Not.
the opposite, right? So it's kind of the people who were not, they basically what they lost is what people who were thriving gained.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, depending again what kind of roles and jobs you were in, definitely did lose. A lot of businesses closed during that time period as well.
Yeah.
Because they weren't able to sustain themselves throughout. So we did have an economical hit during COVID.
Yeah.
And then this is probably just like the cherry on top, like
Yeah.
adding it to certain people. Again, not everybody is
Yeah.
affected, but a lot of people are affected by it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I just like I think it's not a good idea to call it a recession or to keep basically threatening with recessions.
Well, the thing is,
Right.
the news wants to sell.
No,
So
yeah, yeah.
they're just,
So they keep saying, but that's the
they
thing.
love to just make people
Yes.
afraid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're in a recession, but
Yeah.
like, yes, a lot, like, there is a lot of people that are being affected by it. A lot of people are still okay during the situation, so I don't know. In theory, a recession is, in economics, a recession is a business cycle contraction that occurs when there's a general decline in economic activity.
Yeah.
Recessions generally occur when there's a widespread drop in spending.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
then, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's not well. I was talking to Jeff in recruitment, and he was saying that like this recession is nothing compared to the recession that we had in 2008.
Oh yeah.
Like,
No.
so people, like, he said it's gonna be okay. Like, the 2008 one was really bad.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean, I'm an optimistic person too. I'm like, it's fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But
Because that's what I mean. I think like anytime that anybody hears the word recession, we like instantly think of like things like that. That
Yeah.
2008, how uh, it was completely different, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no you can't can't keep calling that a recession when all that does
in
is
theory though, like by definition, we are in a recession. It's just we have extreme negative connotations to the word recession, but there
right.
has been like less spending.
Yeah,
So
I think there's levels though, right? Like I mean, like, well, you can think about it as like a stock graph, right? Like how it goes up and down, the amount of spending that people do, right? Like up and down. So like, yes, we might be on the lower end of it right now, but it's not. I think there's a limit to it, or like a barrier to where you can actually call it a recession, where like this like there's so many people that are spending so little money that then it becomes a recession, right? It's like saying famine, right? Like there's people who are not being able to they can eat, but that doesn't mean that is a famine, right? Because a famine is like widespread.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I see it anyways. It's like if you call it a recession, it actually has to be something that you have to be attentive of, right? Like not necessarily because then the more people kind of
hear it, and the more it buys into it. Like,
yeah
we're in a recession, I
yeah
can't spend, and
the
then
worse it
becomes
gets.
like
Yes.
a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of
Yes.
thing.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, and they've been threatening with a recession for quite some time,
Yes.
which might be
Yeah.
what they're trying to do, though. Because again, it's a
To limit
man-made recession.
Yeah.
It's very calculated.
Yeah.
Which
Oh.
is
Yeah.
shitty.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is the. Well, I mean, I don't know a lot about economics, but I don't think this is the way to solve. Or maybe it's the way to solve the problem now. But that's where my whole like pet peeve is like, how didn't you guys forecast this was gonna happen? Whose job was it to regulate interest rates
Man.
during
Yeah.
COVID and like not give people all this money and then all of a sudden be like, oh shoot, we gave away too much money and now you guys are spending too much. Like, whose job is it to regulate the housing market? Like, why are you guys putting good people at like a loss right now? And it's usually the middle to lower class that's affected by these
Oh
things.
yeah.
And it's calculated. Like,
Yeah.
you know you're screwing these people over and you're like, oh, it's collateral damage. We have to do it to fix the economy because you didn't
Fix the economy. Fix the economy for the minority of people who have a lot of money already.
Right.
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 Like,
Exactly.
it's not for the middle class.
No,
or like it,
definitely not. And actually, I was like thinking, kind of putting pieces together, how, and I don't know if this is true, but like, we doubled how much we helped the food bank last year, and I was super proud of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if it was because the need was like that much more for the food bank. Because you can read a lot of articles that the food banks are like, at like history levels, people are going to food banks because they can't even afford to just like buy food. So I'm like, that's kind of sad that we actually doubled it if it's because the need is just that much worse right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're very fortunate to be in to work for a company that is like an essential good, because
Yeah.
even within trucking companies, there's been layoffs in trucking
Yeah.
companies because there's not a lot of movement of things that aren't just food at
Yeah.
this time. And I feel like the age that you're in, and like you
Mhm.
know, like Kristen was saying, like having a lot of expenses and stuff like that, that helps right now. So you guys you'll be fine. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everyone will be fine.
I
But
think
that's
so.
because
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. But obviously, people have lost
Yeah.
businesses, homes, etc. So
Yeah.
no bueno. But I'm curious, like how does Canada define a recession?
Yeah.
Like what is the threshold for
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah.
to say we are in a recession? I did see articles too about like the USA being like in a record high, like not going to be able to pay their
That.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so all those things like obviously have a play with our economy as well, and then like
Yeah.
the war in the Ukraine and all those things as well, like have with oil prices and things like that being affected. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I will say that like us slowing down a lot with which I don't know if it's again the economy or what it is, but
Mm.
I don't know. There's definitely we're not in a prosperous stage as a country
No.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Yeah.
That's for sure. But yeah.
Man. Yeah. I know. That's the thing. I feel like it's prosperous for certain people, right? But for most people, it isn't. It's like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I have a fixed mortgage, and thankfully,
Mhm.
we renewed our mortgage right before
Oh yeah.
everything started to happen, like right before our wedding in September.
Yeah.
So we have 5 years, because if we were to renew, like I don't know, our mortgage is like at 2.5 or something percent interest, and like
Yeah.
right now they're like at 4
Yeah.
plus,
Yeah. No, I think it's at like was it 5? Like almost at 5. Yeah.
which is like
Yes.
bad.
Yeah. 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 It's crazy. Yeah.
So like happy days for me that I have like a extended period that my interest is locked in. But if I
Yes.
have to renew at that, that would be like awful for me.
Yeah, yeah, no, I actually told Emily like I think it's good to plan for kind of like the worst. So
Yes.
I was telling her like we can like let's say we got into the market like 5 years from now, right, or 4 years from now, and it was still sort of high. The tendency of that interest rate is to go down. So it does tend to go down
Yes.
over time.
Yeah.
Um, so like if we can actually get in right now, that means that we can still like it won't necessarily go up. So we can technically
Like have an open mortgage and let it, like instead of fixing your rate so that
oh
hopefully like in 6 months from now it'll go down.
no no yeah no I'm thinking more so like if we can pay it right now, like if we can pay with that amount,
Yeah.
that means that we can pay it when it's lower, right? So like sure it'll mean that we would be losing money, but at the very least we know that it like that would be safe, right? Like if we start at the highest,
Yes.
or at least if we plan for paying the highest,
Right.
then we can pay the lowest, right?
Right. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, that is very very true.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
hopefully I don't know, hopefully it gets fixed sooner than later.
Yes.
I think they were saying that this was going to be the last increase, the one that they just had, and they're kind of locking it in,
Yeah.
or hoping to lock it in.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's good.
Yeah. Oh, for the reason. Dang. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So recession is like actually less than.
The lesser term.
Yeah. Okay.
Recession. But still, it doesn't mean it's not a bad term. That needs to be used carefully.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because we're still associated with something that's really, really bad, anyways.
Yeah,
Right. So.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, cause yeah, right. Like, there was a depression, right? Like in what was
The
it?
30s, 1930s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I remember reading about it. Hmm.
As of 2022, Canada is not in recession.
Yeah.
However, the early signs are that many experts believe Canada may experience a recession in 2023. Below are some key metrics to assess the health.
Hmm.
I know economics is something I really wish and want is my goals to understand better, like the world economy
Yeah.
and just how the world functions. Like I kind of have an idea now, but
Yeah.
I remember being in my young 20s and starting to figure things out. And I had like my boyfriend at the time explained it to me as like a monopoly board basically, and
Right.
how there's like specific people in power, and everything is done to like even like a war, for example, in a small African country, it's there's always a drawing force
Yeah.
with like Russia, China, the Western world, and I was like, wow, and I still find it super intriguing.
No, yeah, it is. There's so many aspects of it that are like very interesting for sure. Like, I mean, it it affects us in ways that we don't even like realize it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even just the like food and
Yeah.
you know just day to day life things like yeah.
Yeah. There's a show I just started it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's called The Diplomat on Netflix, and it's actually pretty good. Did you watch House of Cards?
No.
Okay, I started House of Cards. I didn't finish it. I did enjoy it, but this is basically it's a couple. The woman thrives in like the way it's described. The woman thrives in crisis, and the man thrives like being in the spotlight. And so basically, it's like they're both like in politics in a way,
Yeah.
and then it shows you kind of like the PR behind like
Right.
politics and like the staging of things and like I don't know, it's like their relationship.
Hmm.
I don't know, it's pretty good. I started it yesterday. I watched 3 episodes and I'm like excited to keep watching. So I recommend it.
Yeah. I've been meaning to watch the what was it? Beef?
Oh my god,
Beef, yeah,
let's
yeah.
watch it.
Okay, yeah. I
Beef
told
and
them.
Diplomat.
Yeah.
Let's watch both.
Mm. Yeah.
Wouldn't you just save your money, and then after the recession is over, spend your money? And wouldn't it, in theory, create the same cycle?
Right.
Like,
Well,
if
I
we're
mean,
all, like, not spending, we're all being conservative, and then it's like, we're out of the recession, and then now we're all spending again. Like, I don't know, in my brain, I'm like, wouldn't it start the same
yeah,
cycle?
it's like economy is a very tricky balance of everything, right? So you kind of want to balance like, oh, people spending, people not spending. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think the bad thing isn't people necessarily spending money, is the money in Canada specifically, right? Because I mean, if you're spending money around Canada, especially in a local area, you're moving the money around in a local area, it's good because that money stays within that area, right? So that means that you can just constantly be moving that money around. Like that money might eventually come back to you if you are, providing any kind of services or like just working in general.
Yeah.
So if you spend money, like for example, let's say I go and buy cheese, right? I buy cheese, then I get cheese, but I also like I support a business that then eventually comes back to me, right?
Right.
Like I am affected by how well like cheese does. So if you keep moving that money around in the same area, then that's what you want. You want to move that money, but in a specific area. You don't want to be uh, putting money in different countries because if you do, then you're moving that money outside of Canada, right? And then that money can't circulate within Canada.
Right.
Um, but at the same time, you don't want a lot of people investing on things in Canada because if they do, they're investing. That money comes back to them, right? In a greater amount. Like for example, let's say Amazon, they invest in warehousing, et cetera, et cetera. But then eventually that money goes back to the U.S. It doesn't stay in Canada,
Right.
right?
Okay.
It goes right to Jeffrey Bezos,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, like you have to. It's a balance of like introducing money from other places, but also not allowing people to spend too much money on things outside that aren't gonna like actually spending, not investing money,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. So like you definitely want the movement of money. Which is why actually like one of the ways to get out of a recession is to decrease the interest rates because as you said, people take out loans and invest on businesses and et cetera, et cetera. And the more they invest locally, the better it is for the economy.
Yeah.
But we live now in such a place where like it's so easy to spend money outside of Canada or outside of our own country, right?
Yeah. But how does that influence inflation?
Inflation, well, inflation, I think it's like a cat and mouse kind of thing. So, as prices rise, then people need more money, right? And so because people need more money, then they're like, oh, we want minimum wage
Increase.
upped. Yeah, so then they up it, and then prices go higher, and then it just keeps going, right? And so like the same amount of money now is worth less because there's more of it circulating. There's more like people need more of it, and so and then it's worth less the more people need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I mean if people didn't want that, like if people weren't like, I don't really necessarily want to say greedy because there's some places that genuinely do need to up the prices to like stay alive, but there's other places that like they don't necessarily need to do that. They can take a little bit of a cut while people like get that increase in their wages, um, but and yet they still up it and they're like, oh well, it's because they increased minimum wage. It's like they use it as an excuse at that point, right?
Yeah.
But that's mainly like a um, very high places or very like that are very established already,
Yeah.
right? So
Which I guess like is the whole idea with the man-made recession, is so that people who have like increased increase their prices without needing to are starting to bring them down. Like housing market, for example, the houses are starting to come down because they were like skyrocketing in pricing.
Yeah, and they were, but that was mainly because there were people outside of Canada investing on those things, right? And that's the thing, like because they like it's people who have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they invest here, and then that money comes back to them, and then if they want, they can sell the property later on. And because they have so much money, they can be like, they can up the price so easily. They can start on bid wars between two people that have a lot of money already. And again, they don't necessarily have to be in Canada, but
and also an influence of that was during COVID. A lot of people from bigger cities were moving to smaller towns because the hybrid work model that was introduced to Canada, and so now you have Toronto money in Paris town.
Right, yeah.
So then you also bring the prices up because like now we have all these big city people coming to move here who have more money because their assets are more expensive where they live.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it also drives the prices up. So.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true.
Interesting. That's why I'm like, predictable.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I guess some things you can't predict, but
yeah, I think
some things I feel like are kind of obvious.
Yeah, I think people thought that people would be scared of spending money. And again, because people were like, oh, there might be a recession, there might be a recession during COVID, yeah. So they were like, oh, we don't want a recession. Let's make sure that people invest. And then they did that, and then people started bid wars. Yeah, because it was so good. Like, it was such a good idea to invest.
Yeah.
Back when they dropped the interest rates. Because at that point, most of your investment was going to be returned to you. Right? Like you can actually think of your assets as a bank.
Yes.
Right? So and then the interest is just the fee to put your money in that bank, right? And so the fee to put the money in that bank was so low, it's like it's a no-brainer because then you can sell it and you get even more money. It actually grows, right?
And it's not, the other thing is like you couldn't travel or go anywhere. So if like you were budgeting for a big trip at the end of the year, all of a sudden you have like $8,000
disposable
that you're
income.
not spending on anything.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, let's put this towards like a down payment or towards being able to pay our mortgage.
Yeah.
Like we can spend more, so
Yeah.
spend more on that.
Yes.
Invest more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of factors, eh? Like it's so much that you can't even like wrap your hair around of like how again like
So complex.
yes,
Yeah.
so many things that like affect other things that then it just yeah.
Becomes the situation
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. So, by definition in Canada, though, a recession is defined as two financial quarters of decline in economic activity.
Oh.
So basically 6 months.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Of decline in economic activity, which we aren't yet in a
Yeah.
recession. Not officially. This hasn't happened. Two quarters yet.
Yes.
However, they think it probably will, but we're not. It hasn't. So.
Yeah.
Actually, Sheldon's